I'm Michael Mahaffey, and I'm the project manager for the master planning team of an exciting new project that we're calling the Canals of Ellensburg. And in this short 10-minute video, I'm going to give you a quick overview presentation of the design guidelines that we're going to be using for this project. By now, I assume you've already seen the concept for the community, following the successful model of many other communities in different parts of the country, including Daybreak, Utah, the number 5 best-selling master planned community in the United States, Prospect, Colorado, Seabrook, Washington, and many other successful projects. This is a walkable mixed-use community featuring homes that are facing greenways in many cases and fed by alleys or laneways at the rear. And the net development cost is very similar to a conventional front-loaded street-facing project. Now, we know this concept is not for every builder, but we think it is for those builders who understand the economic potential of a great master planned community, and who want to be part of the growth in value that these communities can offer, and certainly have offered in other cases. And our master planning team has played a key role in a number of those projects, including Seabrook and others. Now, the design guidelines document we developed establishes the look and feel of the Canals of Ellensburg, its character and its marketable identity, and they help to ensure that the quality of the buildings is consistent and harmonious. And this in turn will support the value of the community and promote its long-term success for all the participants. At the same time, the guidelines are not meant to prohibit all creative approaches that might deviate from the standards established in the guidelines. For those designers who wish to propose alternatives, the master developer and the architectural review committee can take applications under consideration. However, the fastest and most assured path to approval of development proposals is to demonstrate compliance with these guidelines at the outset, and we encourage you to do that. Proposers should also understand that the master planning team has given careful consideration to the planned look and feel of the Canals of Ellensburg based on many years of experience with other successful and high-quality projects. These guidelines should therefore be taken as a reliable reflection of the expectations of the Architectural Review Committee and the master developer regarding acceptable proposals for layout, form, materials, character, and identity. In any case, the guidelines do not represent the end of the design development process, but only the start. The master developer, the chair of the Architectural Review Committee, and staff are available to assist in a collaborative design process, and the master developer can advise on the fee terms for this process and the variables involved. The aim is to achieve a high quality but also competitively priced product, adding maximum value for the project and its participants. So these design guidelines consist of 3 parts: a form-based code that establishes the overall positions of buildings, entrances, parking, and other elements of the master plan, a compendium of design standards illustrating do's and don'ts with preferred, discouraged, and prohibited elements, and a compendium of sample plans and elevations showing how the guidelines can be realized in specific buildings and settings. To use the document, you'll first consult the regulating plan and the plat to determine the suitable locations for the proposed project. Then you'll consult the relevant section of this document for the kind of development contemplated to understand its street or alley type, building lot type and required orientation, frontage, parking, basic volumes, entrance doors, windows, garages, and utility and waste requirements. You can refer to the sample plans and elevations to see relevant examples. As the design is developed, you'll apply the design standards as appropriate, ensuring that the detailing meets or exceeds the requirements laid out herein. Again, please refer to the sample plans and elevations to see relevant examples. The sample plans and elevations are offered as prototypes and examples, or even pre-approved schematics with a small fee to the schematic designers. In any case, to expedite approval, plans and elevations should meet or exceed the expectations set by the sample plans and elevations and the other parts of this document. Again, the Architectural Review Committee will welcome proposed alternative designs if they add value and quality, but the path to approval will likely be slower and less assured. Rationales for alternative designs need to be established convincingly and not on the grounds of convenience, corner cutting, or what we might consider business as usual. Proposers are invited to consult the chair of the Architectural Review Committee for additional assistance, guidance, and suggestions. The full committee has final say over approvals, but the chair can assist with unusual conditions or acceptably innovative approaches. So let's look at the document. First, please be sure and read the first section of the document, the overview and how to use this document. And as I said, the first section is what we call the form-based code that describes the general orientation of streets, greenways, and alleys or laneways. And then the next section gives you the actual position of the buildings in relationships to the streets, the laneways, the side yards, yard areas, and so on. Please be careful to review these sections in relation to the plans you may already have and how they would need to be modified. This includes single-family detached, single-family attached, as well as a multifamily and mixed-use commercial. Then there's a section on frontage types that describes what happens at the fronts of the buildings, which is very, very important for a pedestrian-oriented community of this kind, how the buildings actually relate to the street or the greenways and create attractive and livable streetscapes for residents of the community and, of course, for buyers when they're coming through the community. Then there's a section on parking orientations that describes how the parking will work in the fronts of the buildings or in the backs of the buildings or in parking lots, which are generally small and dispersed in this kind of walkable community. A section on building volumes that describes relatively simple volumes with nicely detailed elevations. Roof forms are described in some detail, as well as the position and character of building entrances, as well as windows, garages, service, waste, and utilities. Now, that covers the positions of those elements, but the actual design of those elements is described in the design standards. And this section includes preferred, discouraged, and prohibited to give the designers freedom to achieve a target rather than a strictly prescribed result. So, for example, you see in the door and window reveals and trim on the lower right that we want to avoid a flat looking or cheap looking window. We want to have greater depth for the window reveals, which is a characteristic of a better quality building and a better quality community. Roof structures, soffits and fascia and trim, gutters and downspouts, roofing materials, other materials, and other details. Color palettes are very important as well to lend cohesion to the community. Landscape character, of course, fences and hedges and so on. Then the final section, as I said, is sample plans and elevations that give specifics about how these buildings will fit within the community and how they will accommodate buyers' preferences for the kinds of lifestyles that buyers want to live today, with the large open kitchen areas, generous master bedroom suites, 5-piece master baths, and other elements that buyers demand. And as the former builder myself, I'm well aware of the need to accommodate these buyer dynamics. At the same time, we want to make sure that the exterior elevations are highly attractive and laid out in a very livable way with private outdoor spaces and other important amenities for the buyers, given that this is a generally more compact, walkable community. And that is certainly what buyers are seeking as well. By the way, we will be updating this document periodically with additional plans as we talk to other builders. So please do not consider this example the final word on the prototype plans and elevations. Please check back with the latest version of the document to review carefully. So we're very excited about this project, and we're looking forward to moving into development and construction. And we welcome your comments or your questions, or maybe your collaboration. Thanks.